The South African government has terminated the purchase of 8 A400M aircraft from Airbus Military. The A400M military transport aircraft is a program in which South Africa is a risk-sharing partner. Engineering News senior contributing editor Keith Campbell is with me in studio today to unpack the story. Welcome to Second Take, Keith. One has to ask, has such a decision come as a surprise?
I think the answer is yes, it's quite a surprise. I get the impression that Airbus was surprised by the decision. You see, the thing is that South Africa really joined the A400M program to start off with to boost the local aviation industry. It was an opportunity for South Africa to get involved in a major international aviation project as a partner and not merely as a customer who'd get some offset work afterwards. So by cancelling the program, this is actually quite a blow to the country's attempts to develop its own aviation industry and establish it as a reliable partner in global supply chains to the major world aircraft manufacturers.
Keith, can you fill us in on the decision taken by Cabinet?
Well, Defence Minister Naidoo Sisulu has revealed that the cost escalation of the project was very considerable. When South Africa joined the project, it was expected that the program would cost South Africa about 17 billion rand. When the program was cancelled, it was estimated that it could be costing the country as much as 30 billion rand, so nearly doubled. That's a very significant cost increase. Also, of course, the program is running perhaps as much as 3 years late. The original intention was the South African Air Force would get its first A400Ms next year. Well, it wouldn't have. It would probably got them only in 2013. That was a serious problem because the Air Force needed them quite soon to support the Army's deployments and peacekeeping operations elsewhere in Africa.
What are the implications for South African companies and the South African Defence Force?
Well, in the short run, there's not likely to be any significant implications for local companies. Two local companies are involved as risk-sharing partners, Denel Saab Aerostructures, which is 80% owned by Denel Group, which is in turn owned by the South African state. And the second company is called Aerosud, which is a private sector company. Now, we know from Denel Saab Aerostructures that they have the design authority on the components they make for the A400M, which are quite significant. They manufacture things called top shells, and they manufacture wing fuselage fairings. These are quite large structures, and they're essential to make the aircraft aerodynamic and flyable. In the short run, Airbus is highly unlikely to take this work away from Denel Saab Aerostructures, and I would presume it's highly unlikely to take away the work that Aerosud is doing for them as well. Aerosud also has a pre-existing relationship with Airbus that goes back some years for work involving Airbus civil airliners. The thing is, in the medium to long term, things could change. For example, if another country orders the A400M, Airbus may have to offer them offset work. The obvious thing to do would be to transfer responsibility for the components being made in South Africa to this new customer and let them build it. So it's unlikely that South African companies will end up producing parts for all A400Ms built. But in the short term, the next couple of years, there's not likely to be any immediate or dramatic effect. The longer term concern is that this was the first time South Africa was involved in a major international aviation project as a risk-sharing partner, and South Africa bailed out when the going got tough. The going often gets tough in major international aviation projects, especially defense projects. You're trying to push technology to the limits. You're trying to get something extra that existing designs don't have. And this could make foreign major manufacturers think twice about inviting South Africa to join a major project in future. It might not. Cancellation of projects, defence projects, is not unknown, it's not infrequent. South Africa's problem is that it's a minor player in the global aviation industry, and thus it's in a rather weak position. If the United States government cancels a major defence programme, well, the defence companies have just got to grin and bear it because they need the United States government a lot more than it needs them. That doesn't apply with South Africa, and I think that's the medium to long-term concern, and we'll only know the answer in the medium to long term.
Thank you for your time, Keith. That's the Second Take show for today. Thank you for watching, and join us again next week for more news analysis.